Good evening and welcome to another class. Welcome to another week. I'm really happy to see you all in today's class. Yeah. Last week we said about understanding different career paths a UI UX designer should follow, and also the design thinking process. So today's class, we're going to be introducing the user research method, which is, we're going to be treating the foundational research method, which is, if time permits, we'll also touch other research methods. But strictly for today's class, we're going to be looking at the foundational research method. Okay. Yeah. Okay. From our last class, we said that user research focuses on understanding users' behavior, needs, motivation through observation and feedback. We have talked so much about user research. I feel like everybody in this call will know and understand what user research is. So moving forward, you have different methods a researcher should follow to gather data from his potential users or target users. We have interviews. Interview is a research method used to collect in-depth knowledge, in-depth information, ideas on your users or your users' opinion, thoughts, experiences, and feeling. So with interview, you'll be able to understand how your users feel by asking them a whole lot of questions. And also you'll be able to like ask them open-ended questions and follow back questions to understand what they are passing through and area of improvement. We also have survey. Survey is an activity where many people are asked the same question. So you are asked to like send out questionnaires, send out survey questions. You can actually send it on social media, send it to your friends and family, so that together, or send it to like your target audience, people that you know that are facing this particular problem. In order for you to gather information about what kind of problem your users are facing and area of improvement or on an app or a website. We also have the type of research. So there are two ways to categorize research. We have the first one, who collects the research, and the type of data that is collected. For who collect the research, we have primary research and secondary research. From the word primary, you know that this is a research that you conduct by yourself. You can actually do it by carrying out interviews, carrying out usability studies. And can anybody remember what just one person, remember what I said about usability studies in the last class, just to be sure that we're on the same page. If you know the answer, please quickly raise up your hand and answer. Anyone? Nobody. Wow. So nobody understands what usability study is or usability testing. Okay, that will just help us out. Please, let's try and be doing our own personal research too. Usability study is kind of research that allow the designer to give users a product in order for them to navigate through and check, and also give feedback to the designer or the product owner. So at usability study, you'll be able to you have been able to prototype your product. At this stage where you have to give it to like potential users for them to like navigate through and also give you feedback on area of improvement. Please, if you are clear, can I just get like a reaction on the chat before we continue? Okay, just type clear if you understand what I said by usability testing, usability study. Okay. All right, that's good. So primary research is the kind of research you conduct yourself. Information is direct from your users. So you can conduct primary research by the use of interviews, survey, usability studies, in order for you to like gather data on what your users are passing through and area of improvement. We also have secondary research method. Secondary research method is research that uses information someone else has put together. So you can actually get like textbook data, just from the news, from articles. Okay, so people are passing through so problems. Okay, you want to like based on the data, based on the data that I've collected, then you can now like offer solution based on the secondary data that I've collected. From I also said that you have data collected based on data can be collected based on the type of data. It can be either qualitative or quantitative. So qualitative data is a primary data collected through observation. So what do I mean by observation and conversation? At this research method, be able to like do interviews, have one-on-one interview, have one-on-one observation session with your users in order to understand the kind of problem that they are facing and also like listen to them, empathize with them. Qualitative data answer questions like why, how did that happen? It helps you to like get in-depth knowledge on what your users are facing. They have quantitative. This has to do with numbers. Data that is collected by counting or measuring. With this qualitative data, you'll be making use of Google survey forms, Microsoft survey forms to gather data on what your users are passing through, the kind of pinpoints they are facing. You ask questions like how many, how much, like how old are you, on a scale of 1 to 10, what are the problems you face in navigating or interacting with these products? We also have steps on how to carry out research. First, you have to like define your research goal. What are the information you would like to get at the end of the research? Why are you conducting this research? What problem are you trying to solve? You're also going to carry out screener questions to identify who your target audience is. By asking them, so screener question is a detailed list of questions that helps to determine your potential participants. So you can ask them their age, their location, their biography, just questions to check if the people that you want to interview, people that you want to like carry a research on, if they suit or if they're actually facing the problem that you want to address. Then you can move ahead to choose the appropriate research method. Do you want to use qualitative? Do you want to use quantitative? Do you want to use interview? Do you want to go with primary data that you collect by yourself? Do you want to go with secondary data? Once you have concluded on that, you can now move to develop your research method. What I mean by develop your research method, if you are working with interview, here you start scripting, you start writing down the kind of question that you want to ask your target audience. If you are using a survey, you have to like start drafting out the kind of question you want to ask them. Then you can move ahead to recruit participants. Then you can also conduct, then after you are done recruiting participants, you have know the kind of people, your target audience, and you have understood the kind of research method that you want to follow. Then you can now go ahead and conduct your research. Then after you are done conducting your research, you can now analyze it with what we call empathy mapping, user persona affinity mapping. But don't worry, we'll get to that one in our next class. Before we continue, does anyone have any questions so far? Anyone? If you have a question, please quickly raise up your hand and ask. Okay, Sunday.
Okay, good evening, Chiamaka.
Good evening.
I observed that you didn't talk much on develop research materials. I don't know if you skipped that or probably I'm the one that skipped.
What? Yeah, I think maybe
You only spoke on research method.
if you are using Google Forms if you are carrying out a survey, it's always advisable to like draft out the kind of question that you want to ask your participants. If you are carrying out interview, you have to like craft out the kind of questions that you want to ask them. That's what I mean by develop research materials. Is that clear?
Yes, thank you.
Then we also have, I think that'll be all. I also have how to conduct interviews. To conduct a very good interview, you must be able to like script your interview questions. You have to like develop a list of questions that you like to ask your potential users or your target users. The second thing you are going to do is to collect supplies. Are you going to be using paper to carry out this research? Are you going to use computer to like ask them questions? Okay, if you are going to use Google Meet, or you're going to use Zoom, it's always advisable to like send them the Meet link a day or a week before the interview day. Then the third thing you are going to do is to research your users. It's always good to understand the kind of people that you want to interview so that you have in-depth knowledge on the kind of problem that they are facing. After you are done scripting your interview questions, collecting the supply, that's the material that you want to use for your interview or your research, and you have been able to understand who your users are, it's always good to practice before time so that you have the opportunity to like rewrite your questions or edit your questions properly. So on the day of the interview, so if you want to like interview your participants tomorrow, these are the things that you have to like prepare yourself with. Script your interview question, collect supply. Are they going to use Google Meet for the interview? Are they going to use Zoom? You make all these materials available. Are they going to use paper? It's like the physical interview where they have to like ask them questions. They have to like write it down for you. Then after that, then you can now start by creating a first impression. Make them to be comfortable. You can ask them how their day is going, how they are feeling, just to make the environment surrounding comfortable for both you and your participants. You can also ask them if they'll be comfortable, if they would like you to record the session, if they're comfortable for you to record the session. You can also, then you have to thank them for thanking them for coming, because it's not easy for somebody to leave their comfort zone for you to ask them a question. You have to thank them, ask them how they are doing, how is their day, what they do, just to create this friendly environment. Then you can ask them if they will be comfortable if the session is being recorded. They will not give their opinion. Some people would like to be recorded, some people will not really be comfortable. So for most people that are not comfortable being recorded, you can just like document what their observation and what they say. Then for interviews, it's always good for you to ask them open-ended questions so that you'll be able to like ask them follow-up questions in order for you to understand, in order for you to gather in-depth information on what they're passing or what they are facing. Opeyemi, do you have a question?
No, it's not a question. I want to say that the slide you're talking about, it is not being projected. You're only on steps on how to carry out research. That's the slide that is showing. I don't know if there is a slide for interview, how to carry out interview. That's.
If you were listening, I said other steps that you can follow. That's what I said before I started saying recruiting your participants and all that. Is that clear?
Yes.
Do you want me to go over what I said again so you can write it down?
Yeah, I will appreciate that. I will appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Please don't speak unless you're asked to speak, please. There are various steps on how to conduct your interview. So this is the one you have to like script your interview question. Even if you are using survey, what kind of questions you want to ask your participants? You write it down. Know the kind of question they want to ask based on the products they are working on. Another thing you're supposed to do is to collect supplies. Is this interview going to be on Google Meet? Is it going to be on Zoom? Is it a physical interview? What are the things that you need, the material that you need? You make it available for your potential, getting yourself ready for the interview so that your potential users will not be frustrated in doing the interview. Then you also have to like research your users, because if you want to interview somebody, it's always good to know them, like maybe check them out on social media so that you know what the kind of thing that they are dealing with, so that you will not be lost when they are sharing their problem with you. Then before the interview, you should practice your questions so that you don't have to like mix up things. You also like practice. It's also give you time to like edit and create new questions or room for new questions and other ideas. Then after that, on your interview day, you should start by welcoming your participants, make them to feel at home. You can start by asking them how they are doing. You can also crack a joke. Then also ask them for permission if they would like the session to be recorded. It's not everybody that likes to be recorded, right? Then after that, you can, when you now start the interview properly, it's always advisable, same when you are doing a physical interview or just normal interview, it's always advisable to ask them open-ended question. This open-ended question gives room for more information. Then at the end of the interview, you should pay attention to what your users are saying. You should like document. For most people that don't want to be recorded, you should like document it, like write down what they say so that at the end of the day, be able to like analyze the data. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, it is very clear. Thank you.
So this is it here. Script interview question, collect supply, research your users, practice, thanks user for coming, ask them open-ended questions, document observation about participants. Ekom, do you have a question?
Yes, I have a question. So can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so I don't know how this sounds, but I'll ask it anyway. This interview sounds like something that works mostly for startups, like for startup companies and all, because I'm trying to picture how, let's say, a company like Google is trying to improve on one of its apps, and it has to get opinion from users. Does interview work for them, seeing as they have how do I put it now? They have a very large users. They have a very large number of users. Does the interview method work for them? I don't know if you understand what I'm asking.
I understand the question. You know that each of the research methods have its own disadvantage and advantage. So one of the disadvantages of interview is that it's time consuming, right? And you're able to like reach small number of people. But with survey, be able to reach thousands of people. Somebody will send to you, please send to somebody, and you have a whole number of people. So depending on the project you're working on, so that's why you have to like ask yourself the kind of information that you want to gather at the end of this interview. If it's something that you need in-depth information, I always advise people with interviews. But then the disadvantage is that you'll be able to reach small people, like small number of people. But if it's something that you just want to know want to just know small information about something, like a scale of 1 to 10, how old are you? How many apps have you used? How much? How many? You can always go with surveys so that you'll be able to reach large number of people. And it's not very expensive, and it's not time consuming. Understand? Ekom, is that clear? Okay.
Yes, it is. Thank you. Can you hear me? It's clear.
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you.
I don't know if this is clear enough, but this is a good example of what survey question will look like. And I said survey question has to do with how many, how much. So question number 1 is, what is your gender, male or female? Yes or no kind of question. How old are you? What's your occupation? So survey question entails qualitative and quantitative. You also give room for your users to like type in their opinion, but most times the answer is usually very limited because people don't have time to type. But in interview, you're looking at the person, you're interacting with the person, even though the person is not really like sharing much, from their facial expression, from their behavior, you know that, okay, this person is actually passing through a lot. Then we have the goals of user research method. User research method, the goal of user research is to prioritize users. What do I mean by prioritizing your user? You have to put your user in the center of every of your decision, right? You also want to make sure with your research that your business needs is met. User research can also help to bridge the gap between business thinking and users' need. A company can reach out to that, okay, they want an e-commerce site where people can actually buy goods, do this one and that one. But if it's not really meeting the user's need, and if it's not aligning with what the users want, the product is as good as useless. That's why you need to like do proper research to understand what your users are passing through and also align it with your business objective. If we bring this product forth, will our business also make profit, and also maybe also be able to give users what they want? So user research will help you to like understand your users' need and also your business objective. Before we continue, is there any other question? If you have any question, raise up your hand, I'll call your name. Is there a question? No question. Okay, moving forward, we'll be creating questionnaire, survey questions for participants. But most of us have not used Microsoft Forms or Google Forms. I'll be able to like show you how to create your own questionnaires for your potential users. We're also going to be working through FigJam so that we're able to understand the interface before we start using the tool properly. Please, if you have used FigJam, if you have used Microsoft Forms or Google Forms before, please quickly raise up your hand if you are familiar with it or you have used it. Okay, it's only one person. Okay. Okay, for most of us, okay, you can bring down your hand now. So that means this class is not going to be long. So for most of us that have not used Google Forms before, or Microsoft Forms. So you had to go to forms.office.com. So once you get there, you will see create new forms, new piece, and quick imports. But for this class, we're just going to be creating forms because it's something that we want to like send out to our potential users. So once you click on the create form, you will see a new template for you to work with. Before I continue, please, if can just one person raise up their hand and tell me the kind of problem they would like to solve? Okay, Angel.
Hello, ma. Good evening, ma.
Good evening.
Ma, please, I don't know how you get to Google Form. That is what I want to ask.
I
Thank you,
just
ma.
go to forms.office.com.
Okay. Thank you.
So if you have any problem idea, okay, goodness, Abasi. Goodness, can you hear me? Okay, she's not here. So if you want, okay, Rashidat, you have a question?
No, you said good evening, ma. You said any problem idea.
Okay, go ahead. Do you have a problem idea you like us to experiment with?
Yes, like travel, sustainability in travel experience.
Okay, what problem are you trying to solve?
Like when people are traveling, there's no sustainability like that. It's not in place. Sustainability is not in place.
Okay. How lucky you have to like send out survey or interview potential users for you to like understand what the problem they are facing. Because it might be a problem to you, but it might not be a problem to a whole lot of people out there. Yeah? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma.
Okay. Okay, Obina.
Hello, good
Yeah.
evening. Can you hear me? Good evening.
I can hear you.
Yeah, my question is how the increase in minimum wage can improve the standard of living of Nigerians. My survey question. How the increase in salaries or earnings can improve the standard of living in Nigeria.
So you would like to design an application or a website that will address such problem?
Yes, I don't know if you can conduct a research or survey as regards that.
For that kind of problem, I feel like you had to like work with both interviews and survey because it's actually a very big project because you're interviewing users and also interviewing the government. You understand?
Yes, yes.
Ekom, do you have a question? Okay.
Okay, I was trying to suggest an app.
Okay. I can hear you. Go ahead. Okay, I think she's having network problem.
Okay. I said I was trying to suggest like an app.
Okay, go ahead. You can just type it on the chat. Timothy.
Okay, I just want to suggest some help also. Probably we can design a question as regard
Can you hear me
access to.
now? Like an app. I was trying to suggest an app.
Okay, if you have I think the network is really bad. If you have like a problem you like to solve, you can just drop it on the chat. But for this class, I will just pick a problem, a random problem, so that we learn how to create our own survey forms or survey questions for our potential clients. Is that fine? Okay. Think that's okay. All right. So if you want to create a survey form, a questionnaire for your potential audience, it's always advisable. Okay, you have a question.
No, I wanted to say that, okay, maybe like that survey. Okay, like there is something in like my place of work, they brought up a new vendor on food. Like for food, can that be a survey? Like how the food tastes, how is the portion and all of, can that be like a question to solve?
Sorry, come again. Repeat your question.
I mean, like, okay, like you said, we should look at a problem, like we should think of a problem to solve that would have to create a survey questions for. I'm
Yes.
not talking about it that in case, let's say a company that brought up a new food vendor to their company, maybe they want to satisfy their workers. So can they bring up a survey form or survey questions on how the food tastes, how is the quantity, the portion of the food, maybe compared to an old vendor or something like that?
Exactly.
Like that
Yes.
is
Yes, you can. So survey most products, like even existing products, you survey a lot. That's at the end of your meeting, or the end of your Zoom call, they'll ask you how was your experience. They're trying to like gather feedback. So they give you like a 5-star rating or 2-star rating for you to like 5-star rating for you to like click on. So it can be for an existing product or product that is not yet in existence. Exactly.
yes, it is. Yes.
Let me see. You have a question?
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, I wanted to talk about the forms, and this one, this example you wanted to show us. So I wanted to talk about maybe a problem that we can just run through, a simple problem. I think we can just use why do people prefer Pepsi to Coke or something like that for the survey questions.
Okay, so you want to design for Pepsi, you want to design for Coke.
Yes, and ask people's behavior, why they prefer Pepsi, why they prefer Coke, and they will give you maybe answer to the taste and how they feel when they take it or something like that.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me see. Oh, okay, I don't know if I take your own night to be like everybody's own. So I'll just go with my own. Then when you're doing your task, you go with your own. That's fine, right?
Yeah, okay, it's fine. Thank you.
Okay. Emmanuel, do you have a question?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I want to ask the goal of user research
You
is
want to ask
focused
what?
on the goal of user research.
The goal of user research.
Yes.
Okay.
Focus on understanding the behavior of the users or the current needs user in our product.
So you have to like repeat your question again so that I understand better.
Is the goal of user research solely focus on understanding the behavior of the user or the current needs in relation to our product?
Shemaka, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so let me just address that. Okay.
Right.
So the person who asked the question, Emmanuel. So the thing is this, I would say both, right? It's dependent on what you want to, probably add as a new feature to your product, right? Now, when you have current users, let's take an example. Let me ask you this question: have you registered on the learning management system?
Yes.
Okay, good. So that already is a product. Now, let's say we want to make some improvements. Okay, I could decide that I want to, make a few improvements on the current learning management system for the current users, right? Which are you guys right now. I could decide to add a feature that will probably just help you guys in 4.0 in this current bootcamp to properly manage your dashboard, your learning and everything. Right now I could carry out a user research. The essence is I want to know if the particular feature or upgrade that I'm planning to implement, if it is even what usable, if that's what the user wants. So a typical example is this. A lot of you are having issues with, some persons are having issues with usernames, right? So I could decide, okay, fine, the learning management system wasn't implemented for you guys to edit your usernames, right? But we could decide, okay, fine, let's let's ask a few persons, okay, do you really think that this, allowing people to change their usernames, do you really think that is that something you would want? And all those stuff, right? That's actually for the current user because we're trying to address a problem, right? But we could decide to add a feature that may not be needed for you guys. You guys may not actually need that feature right now. But in the context of what a learning management system is, right? We could decide that we want to upgrade the learning management system such that someone like you, a year, 2 years from now, as a trainer, you could create your own resources, right, and have your own kind of bootcamp, just like you could do on, the likes of Udemy, right? So such feature doesn't actually concern the current users, being you guys, because you're currently just focused on learning. But having to implement, a training, a bootcamp kind of feature, those are for, new users, people who would probably want to step into the LMS that are not necessarily students. So it depends on the use case. Your user research can be targeted towards the current users, or it can be targeted towards a new set of users who have probably not even used your learning management system. Another benefit of targeting new users is, since your current users may be biased, right? Especially if you want to do some upgrade or a new feature, they may be biased because they are already in the system, okay? But new users who have not used it at all, you get to have a different set of insights. So sometimes it's actually good to, kind of run your user research through new users, but it's all about use case, what you exactly want to do, okay? I hope that actually explains that.
Yes, it's good.
Okay, Shemaka, go ahead.
Thank you for that. Listen. You said you have a question. Okay, okay. So to create your survey question, you must start by putting an introduction, a description of what you want your users to see. The kind of question you want to ask them must have a description. You don't just like ask them questions like that. So let's say we're working with a fintech app application. I can just say, hi, my name is Yamaka KK, carrying out search on the intake company. Then I can go ahead and state the goal of the research and say, you just give a description of what you're working on so that they know what they are feeling. It's always advisable to start with their demographic, start with demographic question like their age, their occupation, their gender, and all that. So you can click on this add button to add a test question here. You can start by age. I leave it as required. I also make it multiple choice. Okay, sorry here. can make it required. And second question, when you click on the button here, you're able to like add a second question. If you already added the second question, you can add maybe the agenda. You can just give them all the options that are available. It's the multiple choice. If you have to ask another question, if you want, you can also ask for their email for those people that you want to like repeat for your interview. And just add all. So they're able to pick. They add another question, depending on the questions that you want to like ask your potential or target audience. So this is how to use the Microsoft Forms. I'll be working also how to use the Google Forms. So in case you're not able to like understand this interface, you can use the Google Forms to also send in your survey questions. So for the Google Forms, I normally go to the Google Apps and go down to my forms from here. Then you can a blank form, and let's start from here. Yeah. So once you are done creating your questions that you want to ask, you can click this 3 menu bar here. So you can present, then you'll be asked to share, copy link and share and all that. Yeah. Then at the end of the day, once people start filling your forms, you'll be able to see the response here. Yeah, the amount of people that filled it and also graphs of their summary, their analysis. So you don't have to like analyze the data by yourself. Google Forms or Microsoft Forms will help to analyze it. We're able to say the percentage of people that filled your form. Pam, you have a question?
Yeah, please, I want to ask where you said we should click if we want to that copy link. I didn't get that.
Okay.
Thank you.
So from your question here, you click on collect response. You see, you can actually shorten your URL. You can copy the link and share with your friends. Right? Is that clear? Abina?
Yes, it is.
Hello, Chemaka, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I believe after someone has finished creating the form, there should be a submit button to submit it to wherever server that will process it. Does this one have a button like that?
Okay, you're talking from the user's view.
Yes, that user, when the user wants to, after filling the form, now the user has to submit the form for processing. So does this one have something like that?
Yes, you can only submit now. Now, I will just share this. We'll create a form, then we'll share it on the chat so that you can check how it is.
It's all right.
Amadi, please turn off your camera. Then for Google Forms, you always put the title of the project you're working on. If it's health, fintech, agrotech, depending on the niche that you're working on. So you have, let me say, fintech, so app or websites, and then so you start by introducing yourself and telling them the purpose of the. May I have a question? Femi, do you have a question?
No, I don't. I forgot to lower my hand. I'm sorry.
All right. So on the left panel, you see add question here. So you always use this to add questions. So most people start by asking, you always start by asking their age, their email, demographic questions. We're able to understand the kind of users, the occupation. So we'll just quickly do age here. From here, do you want to make it like a multiple choice question? Yes, so that you're able to like pick one. Let me say 15, 16 to 20. Depending on who you want to like interview, who you want to like let's say 20 to 25. Okay, 21 to 25, like that. You add more options for them to always make your questions required for questions that you want them to answer. You click here to make it required. You can also click here to delete. You can also duplicate this question if you want. Then you click here to add another, maybe their email address. But most people don't like giving out their email, so you can actually like leave it open. But if you want to recruit participants, make it required so they'll be able to get in touch with them. So you can leave this one as a short answer test here. Short answer test. If you want it to be a paragraph, you leave it as a paragraph. If you want it to be a checkbox, leave it. Checkbox means that they can pick more than one answers from your question. Okay. Let me just leave it as a short answer. Then also click here to as maybe occupation. Occupation. You can also leave this one as short answer, but if you have a target audience in mind, people that you want to like question, people that you want them to fill your form, maybe you can just list different occupations that you're interested in, and you can make it required. Then add another question. So then maybe for question that requires them to like type. So what I said in the beginning of the class, I said survey question gives room for qualitative questions and quantitative questions. You can also like give room for them to like type in their opinion. So you can ask questions like, what are your biggest frustrations, current financial tool? Then you can give them options to pick from. So let me see, complicated user interface. So this is how the checkbox question looks like. So let me just duplicate this. And since we don't have a problem that we're trying to solve, but on your task, you have a real problem that you'll be solving. Yeah. Okay. Just if you want to have interview with them, it's always good for you to ask them to drop their WhatsApp number, or also ask them which platform would they prefer to do their interview on. But most people that want to like continue with interview, most people would just like to just fill your survey and continue. But if there's an interview option for them, also ask them what platform they would like to use. So you ask them demographic questions, their email, their age, their occupation, location. If you're designing an application for people in Nigeria, it's suitable that your target audience should be from Nigeria, so they're able to gather more information. Then you go ahead to ask them their goals in using maybe a fintech application, the frustration. If they have applications they're using to like make transactions, they can also list it for you. If they have any suggestion, area of improvement, it's always advisable for them to like list it for you. Then if they want to like have one-on-one interview with you, you can also give them a yes or no answer to pick, option to pick from. If you want to have an interview with them, you cannot ask them what platform would they prefer and what time. So that's that. So once you're done with your question, here you'll be able to see your response. And here is you also be able to set You can also add time. I'm able to set, do you want to make this a quiz? How do you want to manage your response and all that? Then for response, once anybody fills your survey form, you're able to see who has filled it, their name, their detail, everything that they have filled based on the question that you have provided. Then you can always click here to share. So here, this button here, sorry, this icon here to share. And also shorten your URL. You can share it with your friends, your potential audience. So that's that about how to create your Google form for your target audience. You can use Microsoft Forms. You can also use Google Forms. Does anyone have any question before we continue? Any question? Okay, Togo. Do you have a question? Unmute your mic and speak.
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, I want to know what is the advantage or advantages of either platform, the Google form and that of the microphone. Is there any?
I'm not sure. I think they're serving the same purpose. Just I make use of both of them. So.
Okay, in terms of the interface, which one do you think is more user-friendly?
For me, because I've made use of Google Forms very well. I normally use Google Forms a lot, but I've not really explored the Microsoft Forms. So maybe you can check it out and then.
All right, thank you.
Esther.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, please, I'd like to know if this this can only be done using a laptop, or you can also use a phone to do it, an Android phone.
For the Google Forms, yes, but for product design, no, you can't. For UI UX design, no, you can't. But for this Google Forms, yes, it's web.
Okay, thank you. I have another question, please.
Ways you can actually use and do it. Is that clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Esther, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Uchenna.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, please, I've been searching where I'll get the share button for this Google form. I think I missed that part. The share button for this Google.
Yeah, so they wrote send. Here. Can you see my screen? Uchenna,
yes, I can.
So you click on send. You see this icon here.
Okay.
So you need to click on it. You can just copy here. If the URL is too long, you can always shorten it and copy it and send to your target audience. Is that clear?
Okay, yes, thank you. That's good.
Okay, is there another question? Vincent.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Please, I just want to know if I want to share this on a WhatsApp, how can I go about it?
Okay, just copy it and paste on your chat. Then you can send it. Just copy and paste. You can actually copy it paste it on your status if you want to. All the people on your status to on your WhatsApp to see it. Exactly. David.
If I'm using system, how can I do it? I don't know.
Okay, so I'm going to copy just look at my screen. Copy. Okay. I'm going to paste it on the chat. Are you seeing it?
Yeah. Okay.
Can you hear me? Then you can send it.
Yeah.
Okay, Akin Sola. You have a question?
Good evening.
Good evening.
My question is, so where can we do the form?
Where can you do the form?
Yes, like where can we create our own form?
Okay. Are you just joining?
Yes, my internet was bad.
Okay. I'm not going to answer that question. Next time, join on time. Yeah?
No, it was my internet. I tried joining on time, but the internet was so bad.
All right. Sorry about that. David, do you have a question? David, if you have a question, can unmute now. Okay, Ike. Ike, can you hear me? Dami, please confirm that you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Onyechi, can you hear me? Unmute your mic and speak. Onye. Okay. Opeyemi, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. Please, I want to ask, I kind of like got that Google form, the Microsoft form, I got that one. But this Google form, I'm not getting it when I want to like type in the next question, or I don't get what icon to press. I didn't get that one. That's
Okay.
it.
So, okay,
I
yeah,
didn't really get that.
I want to add another question. See this plus icon here.
Okay, okay.
Once you click on it, you can type in your question. So if you want it to be multiple choice, or you want it to be short paragraph, you can always change it from here. Depending on the kind of question you're asking.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
I think that'll be all the questions for now. Okay. Okay, moving forward, we'll be looking at a FigJam. Because in our next class, we're going to be exploring with FigJam. So it's best for us to like understand how the interface is structured. So once you have installed or log into the web base of Figma, you will land on your dashboard. So this dashboard contains your recent, your team, your drafts, your favorite files, your shared products, your teams, and you'll also be able to create new team. So when you're working in the team, you can also search here. You can also see your notification, especially for Figma events. Then up here, you see add design file. So this one is for Figma. So when we start designing properly, when we are done with the research and the define and the ideate stage, we can now start making use of Figma. So for today's class, we're going to be looking at FigJam. So FigJam, we are going to be using it for empathy mapping, user persona, affinity mapping, information architecture. I mentioned all this in our second class, thereabout. You can also import new files to your Figma. So once you click on this FigJam board, you're creating a new FigJam board. And FigJam is mostly for analyzing your data, especially after your research. This was the FigJam board looks like. So you have a menu here. And you can also add new file. You can also time yourself. You can just cancel this. So have a fresh page. Yeah. Femi, you have a question?
Yes, I do. Please, this FigJam, I don't understand how you got to this place. Thank you.
Have you installed your Figma?
Yes, I have. Oh, I'm on Figma right now.
Okay. So once you install your Figma and you have set up your account, this is the first page you will land on. So Figma is divided into Figma file and Jamboard. So for Figma, we're going to be using it for prototyping and designing our high fidelity design. Then for Jam, we're going to use it to be analyzing our data after the research. Then you also have import files. So if you want to import, are you there?
See, please, can I show you my screen?
So
because I'm not seeing the Jam on my distance. All right.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll look at it. So while we're waiting for her, so here you have you can. Okay, you have a question.
Yeah, I have a question. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to call me for a long time now.
I called you.
So, oh, you did, I didn't hear you. Sorry. Oh, okay, so I am a bit confused. My network was so bad, so terrible. I didn't get that Microsoft form and Google form part. Like it's all, I missed everything, almost everything.
Okay, I can't really go back now, so you watch the recording later.
Okay.
Yeah. But if time permits, I'll walk you through it.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Let me see what your problem is. I'm trying to, okay. Okay, I mean, there's actually like a banner covering your button, Figma and FigJam. So just edit that button, I'll be banner. David, do you have a question? Please let's make the questions first. If you have a question, you can unmute and ask. Okay, he's not here. So this is what the FigJam interface looks like. So you have your menu here. You also have a button, a drop down where you can add new file. If you're working in a group, you can also add timers, especially when I was talking about the crazy 8. So the crazy 8, yeah, you'll be giving 8 minutes to like design 8 different solutions on a particular problem. So you can actually time yourself here. You can also use the AI to generate anything you want. But most of us know how to use AI. Then you have templates. So here you'll be able to see a whole lot of templates. Easy planning, brainstorming template that you want, any type of template that you're looking for. Here you'll be able to like edit your FigJam file. The next time you're submitting a FigJam link or Figma link, make sure that you name your page properly. Then with this job done, be able to see, especially when you're working in a group and somebody deletes your work, be able to see the history, be able to duplicate this whole file, be able to rename it, be able to move this project to another place, be able to add it to a favorite file, be able to also delete it if you don't want to use it again. Then here you have your profile. If you're working in a group and you want to draw somebody's attention, you can actually spotlight yourself, then the person can follow you and see what you are trying to point at. Then you have the share. So once you are done and I ask you to submit your your jam link, you can come to the share and copy your link. Always make it so that I can view. So I'm able to like read it properly. Then below we have the move tool. I'll just drop like a sticker here. So with the move tool, you'll be able to move elements around. Obina, do you have a question?
Yes. Just like Okoyemi said, the Figma you are using is on the web while we downloaded ours as a standalone. Is there any difference between the one you are using and the one we downloaded?
No,
Because
there's not.
the interface is not the same.
Okay, let's see if we can use the web. So that the desktop one. So everybody be on the same page. The desktop will actually take time to like load. So let's see. So just give it time.
Okay, so Chimaka, while that is loading, can you please just show that whole sharing, Figma link and then giving view access again? Please, I think that's very important.
Sorry, I don't get.
How to share the Figma link, right, and give view access. I think you should just go through that again, maybe a bit slowly, so that they kind of get it more. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So once you share your Figma file, go to the share button here. So you have where you see copy link. You can also invite somebody by inputting their email address, and you can invite them. Then anyone with the link can either view or edit. So if you're submitting, give me access to view. If you're working in a group, you can always like share so that your friends will edit with you. So for edit, you just put it on edit. For view, put it in view. Then you can copy the link, then you can share or you can submit. Let me see if this is open. Okay, so this is what the desktop looks like. Obi now, please, and every other person here. So you go here, you see the design.
Sorry, Chimaka, can hear you. Sorry, hold on. We can hear you, but you need to stop sharing and share the Figma app. You're basically just sharing this browser window, so you need to actually share the Figma app. So you have to stop and share again.
Okay. Please confirm. Let me confirm that you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay. Yeah. So goodness, you have a question. Okay, there's no question.
Can you hear me? Good evening, ma'am.
Goodness.
I can hear you. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
My network.
Just type it on the chat email.
Oh gosh, the network is disturbing. I want to ask if you finish your three files, how are you going to
So let's continue. So this is what the desktop version looks like. So you add design file, you had feed Jamboard, like the same one as the web. So when you click on the feed Jamboard, okay. So this is what the interface looks like. So here you have the menu, you have a timer. You can actually use the time yourself. You can play music when you're on the board. You can use AI to generate any template for you, prompt, idea, anything. Then you have a template. You have different templates to explore with. You have brainstorming, programming, planning, etc. Then if you have a comment, Oluwatosin, you have a question, unmute and ask.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I have the desktop version of the app on my system being installed, but the interface is quite different from yours. So I don't know if there's a particular interface, a particular version we need to download, so I'll have the same interface.
No, it's the same thing. What laptop are you using?
I'm using HP.
It's the same thing. I don't know what you're saying. It's the same both
It's
in the
quite
web and in the
different.
desktop. Just take a
Okay,
screenshot and put on the chat.
a screenshot.
Okay, yes, take a screenshot here.
I'll do that now.
And here you can add comments. Please, before you submit any file to me, please always rename it. I don't want to be seen untitled everywhere. So you can here and you rename it, let me say app. Here with this job, that I'm able to see history. Maybe you're working and somebody deleted your work. Maybe to like see your version history. You're able to duplicate, rename, move your projects to a different place. You can also add this project as your favorite. You can also delete. Then you have your profile here. Then you have the share button. Here you'll be able to like invite people by putting in their email. Be able to like give me access to view or edit. Please don't give me to edit, give me to view only. Then you can copy the link here and submit or send to your friends. Then below, so this entire place is a canvas. So you call it the Figma canvas. Yeah. So you have the select tool and the move tool here. You have your marker, you have your sticker, you have your shapes. So for the move, you just, for instance, you want to move elements around. So you just use your move and move them around. Yes. Or you can use to select. So you can also use to move and select. Then you have a move tool here where you can use to move objects around, elements around. Then you have your marker. We all know what marker is for. Then you have your sticky notes. So if you have any idea, maybe you're brainstorming and you just want to like write something down, stick something somewhere, then you can use your sticky notes. We normally use this one for the empathy mapping. Yeah. Then you have your shapes. So you have different shapes here. Anything that you want. It was more when we start doing our user flow chart, working with a lot of shapes. You'll be able to understand what each shape stands for. Then you have your text tool, used for writing. Then you also have your session. Then when you have a lot of work, maybe you ask to do empathy and affinity mapping, user persona, you can always separate your work with a session. Then you have table, making use of table when we start doing a quantitative analysis here. They also have stamp. You can use to stamp. Then you have template session too, where you can pick stickers, widgets, plugin, and more. Anything that you want to use for analyzing your data. Does anyone have any question? Any question? Femi?
I've gotten all you've been saying, but my own is not like that shape. I tried to do the shape you put there too. The sticky notes is not showing also. I don't know, but it's
So
showing on a like lower on this lower part. So I don't know what it is not showing on this bigger part of my system. I don't know what's happening.
Okay, so if you want to take out a sticky note or a shape, just click on it and drag it out. Click and drag. Yeah. If you want to write, so just click on the text. If you want a shape, just click and drag out.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other question? Okay. Vincent.
All right, ma. Please, if you want to delete the shape, how can you delete the shape? Because I've tried deleting mine. Mine doesn't want to delete. I don't know.
You want to do what?
To delete the shape. Delete this shape.
Use the delete on your keyboard, or you can just left click and delete. Yeah?
Okay. I've seen it.
So you click on it and you delete, or you left click and delete. Femi, you have a question. Akin Sola.
I don't, ma.
Okay, Akin Sola, you have a question.
Yes, yes, ma. But please, what is the section bar used for?
Okay. The section bar is used to separate maybe your project. I can give you like maybe different tasks to work on. I'm using the same Figma board. You can actually use the section. Let me just show you. You can use the section to separate it. So when I come, I'll be able to like see. So you click on the section, you have this plus, right? Maybe let me say user persona. So everything that concerns user persona, you can do it in this section. Then you can also duplicate it and maybe call this one empathy mapping. You understand? So your work will look very arranged.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any other okay, that's good. Any other question? Okay. No other question. Prepare me, can go ahead.
Yeah, please. This section, how did you duplicate it? That's my question.
Control D. Please learn your keyboard, everybody. Learn your shortcuts. If you needing it in this if you needing it if you want to design or work on any project. So Control D is to duplicate, Control C, copy, Control V, paste, and all that. Is that clear?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So we have come to the end of today's class.